All of these cars and customers are a stark difference from the scene here yesterday. I'm told the plane was taking off from this airstrip, and it didn't get far before it ended up between these trees. Waldo Delez Perez was arrested here for bringing a gun on campus. The ground here is very sandy, and fire crews tell me that that was one of many factors. They have this road blocked off. You can't get down for this entire block, that there is still a traffic pole that is down on this sidewalk here. It's wrapped up in those wires. Deputies are now calling this a domestic-related incident. For the students and staff who were stuck and locked down yesterday for hours, this will never be forgotten. I mean, take a look here at the memorial that has just continued to grow. Its prevention programming will only be available for some grade levels. Y terminará el programa de educación y colisiones para la comunidad de Latinos. But the main event for me is always the rides. I love a good ride. The excitement is different this year. It's palpable even. Officers got out of their cars. They used flashlights and knocked on both of these doors. But it's not your typical partnership. An orthodontist and a gun club. The owners tell me that this is for a niche group of customers. But in 2025, construction is expected to be complete with the facility up and running. You can see straight through this home, all of this debris all over the floor. Now, if you walk with me this way, you can see more of that. The windows, the walls on the ground here, stuffing what looks like it's from possibly a couch and even a random refrigerator. The family says that they've been living here for more than 4 years, and this is the house that their daughter grew up in. And she says that she was completely saddened to see it come out this way.
This is the time it actually stopped. Look. So I know exactly the time they hit.
As if frozen in moments, hints of their lives still stand. It's pretty much all this family has, besides each other.
We have just a couple of seconds just to get in there. The next thing you know, everything was just gone.
In the moments that the storm barreled through,
bricks started falling out. I told the baby, this is it for us. You know what I mean? I never thought I was going to die this way.
Heidi says she didn't think she'd even live to see this destruction.
It's unbelievable that someone could survive this.
But they did. The community came together to help. This sign asking for donations got them more than $1,000 in one day. Just as quickly as it came, it went.
We went to sleep at this hotel, and I left the door open, I guess, from my car, and they took the wallet.
She says they were moving things in and out of the hotel room when it happened. The community support only came back stronger.
This is a time that people really need to help each other in times like this.
And they have, raising $3,000 more since their original donations were stolen. In fact, a stranger all the way from Idaho says he saw the remains of the house and felt compelled to help.
Kind of sectioning things off. I was at a church Sunday down in Plymouth. I said, how can I serve in the community? Do you know anyone? And they said there was a tornado that hit here.
While the signs of destruction are strewn across this yard, symbols of hope and resilience are among the rubble for this family. Of course, there's not much left of this house, but luckily no one was seriously hurt in all of this. This home was being rented by the family, and the owner has been able to relocate them to another house temporarily. Decades of flipping through books, and now Helen Curran Amos once again finds herself in the library. But this time, she's telling her own stories.
This was June of '52, and that's the one that I drove through the county.
Amos used to drive what was called the Bookmobile. It was basically a library on wheels.
I guess I went about 25 miles out in the county.
Eventually, she became the branch manager.
And I'd take them and show them books that they wanted to read.
To the Black community, the library was more than just a place full of books, ushering in well-known figures like poet Langston Hughes and Duke University professor John Hope Franklin.
You could make a good case that the Granville Street Library was the heart and soul of the African-American community.
This little room was known as the Granville Street Colored Library. In fact, these are the same chairs that they used during that time. But this was also a place where people quietly organized for the betterment of the Black community during a racially tumultuous time.
In those days, Oxford was in a very bad place. We had riots going on. We had somebody that had been killed, murdered.
So they used this space to get black people registered to vote and involved in local government.
They had a safe place to go, someone they could talk to, someone they looked up to.
After integration, Amos became the first black librarian at Richard H. Thornton Library.
Look how many people signed up that were African American.
By 1975, the Granville Street Colored Library shut its doors. The church next door bought it.
Unless we remember where we were, we'll never fully appreciate how far we came.
Today, what looks like an old house actually holds moments of history. Now, this marker pays homage to that. In each photo from inside those walls, there's a story. Stories that this group says may not have otherwise been told. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, Granville County. It started as a welfare check.
I think I had called her one time, and then I messaged her, and she still didn't answer. And Daniel always messaged me back.
But this time, she didn't, prompting a 911 call and the arrival of the Vance County Sheriff's Office.
He pushed, and the door, it wouldn't open very far. And he said, "There's a body laying in front of the door."
Her gut feeling was right.
At that moment, I just lost it.
Sylvia Black's son, Juan, was found dead inside, along with Danielle Williams and Trayvon Hargrove.
I also advised emails first responders that a family member on scene advised they're bleeding heavily as well.
You gotta understand, it's like I lost 2 children and a grandchild.
Black says she used to work with Williams. They became like family, so much so that she invited her to her family reunion. That's where she met Juan.
They were a sweet, super couple. They loved each other. You could tell.
Over time, she says Juan also got to know Hargrove very well.
Daniel's son was autistic. He wasn't real social, but he met my son, and my son just kind of drew him out of that little shell.
Everybody loved all of them. They were good-hearted people.
Lasagna Glover describes her nephew as a teddy bear.
I don't think you could meet anybody that had bad words to say about him. I have no earthly idea why anybody would want to harm him. I mean, he didn't make enemies, and that's what makes it so hard for us, trying to figure out who would have done something like this to him.